I wanted to talk about this weekend here. It's going to happen that, well, first of all, I already pointed out that I think it's Mercury here that's going to square Neptune this weekend. Let's see, this weekend? Well, where are we here? We're on the 21st already. And the sun will be in Cancer by tomorrow. Goodbye, Gemini. Thanks for all of the insight and healing, but it's time to crawl into our shell and get comfy. It's actually time to do a lot of work. We have Mercury squaring Neptune. That's going to happen by Monday on the 26th. Is just after this weekend. Yeah, because time is kind of flying by, so we'll be feeling it over the weekend, but Monday is when it's exact. Good time for the media to come up with something. Gaslight all across the board, but at the same time, over the weekend, we have a Mars. This is the main thing, is the Mars square to Uranus. Now, I'm reporting on this because I'm Mars ruled. I have a lot of Mars in my chart activated and going on. Mars ruled, and then Mars conjunct Sun Pluto. And so I'm pretty Martian, but the secret too with me is I have 5 planets. All those 5 planets are under rulership of Venus, so it's interesting. But so getting back to this Mars square Uranus this weekend, it's okay. So since it's in Leo and Taurus, it's kind of a bog down. I think that might be some delays or unexpected hang-ups with Mars and Leo. It's a fiery Mars, so it's going to be the more pushier subject matter. I think in Leo is egoic, and I imagine with that I appreciate the Mars and Leo. Now this is kind of almost square my moon, but I've been dealing with a moon affliction. It doesn't really affect my moon at 14 degrees. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. But the Mars and Leo, boy, if it's yeah, it affects my moon. I mean, I noticed the Mars and Leos to be kind of course, egoic, right? But what air sign isn't? I mean, fire sign isn't, and especially that's what Mars is all about. And then square to Uranus in Taurus, which is Venus. Venus ruled, and so, but the Mars is Sun ruled, and so just the difficulty probably like in taste, since Uranus is Taurus influence right now. The quality of what we feel, really, like our desire factor there with Mars square Uranus, which is the value system that is under a lot of rehauling in a lot of people because it's Uranus, so it's going to set off that kind of. Now, I say as an astrologer with this Mars aspect, for me, it triggers off the Martian, it triggers it. Otherwise, if you have the 21 degree near there, it's an influence. I would say Leo, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And of course, there's other signs, but we're looking at the hard signs, the square, the ones that will be experiencing the most difficulty, I guess. They're going through the most like abrupt changes. I refer to as like the rubber band snap, you know, because some people are just like, travel out. No, there is absolutely nothing going on. I have to just go over here and do this. And no, actually, not. And then really, no, it's like you have, see, with Taurus, Venus ruled Uranus, it's about the quality of everything. So it's the quality of our relationship. I mean, it's our love life. You know, that's what Taurus rules. So for everybody, it's a kind of that question, like the quality. How do we feel? Is it worth a damn to work this relationship? See, Mars is in the fifth house. It's fifth house ruled right now. Leo. That has to do with romance, children, sex, entertainment. A lot of activity there. It's very passionate. It's about our passion, and it rules children. So it's like it has this innocent, like, well, it's time to be free. Then I just want to be free. So see, but you know. So anyway, this weekend it's major. You know, for me, it's not really influencing as much, like say a degree wise, like it's not near my Mars or my rising. My Mars is not near it at all. It's a see, Mars is actually a good aspect to my Leo, and Libra get along pretty good, and so it's not, see what I'm saying is just it's going to be a trigger factor, but I'm not going to be negatively influenced. So some people will just feel now what they just have the influence. See, you can see where this happens in your chart if you know what sign you are, which is the rising sign. I am Aries, and so it's just cut and dried. Mars is in my fifth house, and Uranus is in my second house. So this is for everybody really. The Mars, the Leo and Taurus second house, fifth house um, influences. It has to do with our money. Again, it's our value system. Really, it's the what is it worth a damn? Because money isn't worth a damn unless it's hooked in, and nothing's worth a damn unless love is functioning there. Then it's worthwhile. It has a certain quality, and so it's been up and running for a long time with the eclipse, and that this is the concern for all of humanity. Is like, well, what is valuable? Is it crap, like, you know, material, or is it ourselves, our association, our relationships? You know, and I say 100%. As a Libra, it's like, of course, relationship and love is way more important than your material assets and wealth and gain and holding all that shit like this. You know, it's just like, well, why don't you loosen up? See, with some people, we'll talk about loosening up. Uranus and Taurus has been a slow loosening up of that particular holographic field. Talk about Taurus, who's a fixed sign, and they're kind of, you know, the word is more stable. Really, the word is stable with them, but we call them stubborn. It's really just negative and selfish, bullying around, and they don't take change very well. They take change well, but they don't change very well. But see, the Uranus has been slowly working on them, as well as the Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius has a special little thing happening with them, with the Pluto moving there, and bless their little hearts. The answer to these things as an Aries is just be frank, be honest. You need honest communication. You need to put it all out on the table, because when the rubber band starts snapping, you don't want to be blindsided with your own self-deception, to tell you the truth. I mean, people tend to not want to fuck with honest people. That's all. I mean, you know, truthful, kind of transparent people. You know, it's you can't slap them around. There is hopefully there's a court, there's a higher law. You know, the courts are helping us out with that, but it does say the criminal justice system, so I'm not trusting that very well. The best thing is to have the mind of a child, be innocent in your wanting to protect yourself, and the way you do is you just be honest. You just say, oh, well, that feels like shit, and actually, you suck, and I'll see you later, bye. No, actually, you don't have to say that. It's just like actions will speak louder. It's like, do you even embrace each other, or are you like this? So that might come up this weekend with Mars square the Leo. Mars is in Leo, and Uranus. See, what I see is just accident prone. Be careful, you guys, if you're being set off by this. Be really, really careful if you have any of those, any planets being I call it influenced. If you just have a planet at a mutable degree, Saturn or Jupiter, or see, people that have a Mars aspect, I call it triggered off. Like for me, you will be. See, I have such a Mars. I'm such a Martian person that this is going to be a trigger. I have to be really careful. There could be a time when I have to release some steam, and I happen to think it's going to be pretty darn productive. It's going to be like lucky, because of the way that it's just a Mars aspect. It's not squaring or influencing me. It is just a Mars aspect happening, and we tend to light up, let alone that I'm also a Uranus kind of person, because I have Mercury conjunct Uranus. And then my Venus, anyway, it's so complicating, but this thing, I see a lot opening up for me. I see it. Just today, I got this, I said, Shauna, you know what? You need to change your whole life. Just buy a motorcycle and advertise that you want to ride around with somebody, and maybe you'll click, and then something better will happen than what you think is going to happen. Which I'm not thinking anything's going to happen, babes. What's happening is happening, and I love it. I appreciate all of it, all of the complications, all of the unknown, all of the obvious, and all of the rut, and all of the fear of just doing something new. I feel well, with the Uranus trining my Venus, there isn't gonna. God is Uranus has something in store for me, babes, and I want music. I want to play music. I want to be able to do that. I'm not saying I want to. I'm just like, I am going to. What happens is that I just do it. I have some ideas, but see, astrology doesn't work unless you really grab on to all of the signs, I guess, and the opportunity and everything, and really work it. You can really feel, though, as an astrologer. I'm telling you, you can get a knack for it, and I do. I have. It's really a tool for the individual, and each person should have it. They understand it's a key. You have keys to yourself and other people. If it's really just in case if you've fallen completely unconscious. And the thing that's kind of the irony of it is, once you become conscious, you don't need it. You just throw it out and say, no, the whole possibility is there. With these aspects, I can see that. I can see the higher and lower. See, there's the narcissist paradigm, which we're always struggling with that. It's like, shit, why does it seem like I'm always just going this way instead of doing my potential? It's because the narcissist is hijacking. As soon as you start feeling good, or anybody, this is the same with your government. They know it about the populace. They say, you know what, they're actually feeling a little bit too content, and they're smiling too much, and it's getting like they're not paying attention to us. So let's ring their bell, stick their head in there and just start ringing and say, you better listen to this. And then most people, conform, and then others are going, but I thought we were supposed to meet up and play a drum, and it's easy. I mean, just 3 things. Keep your water clean, learn to do it. Well, first of all, do you have a safe shelter? Can you call a piece of land yours anywhere and fucking make food? That's the second thing. Pardon me. Third, water. Shelter, food, water. If you are fussing and bantering about anything else every day other than those 3 things, I mean, if you're not locking that down and keeping and dancing the circle around it, and roses are growing around these aquifers, and you have food in the air, and you're actually bulldozing it off a cliff because that's the way the garden is, then you've gone insane. You've gone crazy. You don't know why you've even landed here. You don't know what's important to you. Those things are basics, and you can't lock those down. Well, what else do you think you're locking down at all? Nothing of your idea for sure. Somebody is stringing you out with a carrot on your ass. Have a good day. It's